joining us here on location at the Edmonton Convention Center is Stephanie Bach, who is the Senior Associate with Diplomat Consulting in Edmonton. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Tell us about the company first and foremost.
We are a regulatory and advocacy management firm here based in Edmonton, and we also have a location in Ottawa where our managing partner locates. So we're bilateral, I guess, across the country. We do a lot of work across emerging markets and regulated markets.
And how long has the company been going for?
We are in our third year of operation now.
Wow, at a tough time.
Yeah.
Like through the pandemic. How's that worked out?
We started during COVID.
Yeah, double wow.
I believe our incorporation papers are the first day after the lockdown.
So it would have been in March 2020.
Yeah.
So I guess the question, I'm now diverting a little bit because I didn't realize it was right then, but how has that gone? Like, was it easy to get up and running when the game had changed so dramatically over the span of weeks?
Yeah, we were really lucky though. Our one of our co-founders, Nathan Meissen, has a very vast network here in Edmonton, and he's done a lot of consulting over the years, pretty much his entire career. And so we had a lot of clients start off the bat, but we have doubled, I believe, in size in the past few years. So we've been doing incredibly well. We're very lucky.
And how did you get started in this direction?
With Diplomat?
Yeah.
Oh, I've known Nathan for a while. So it just worked out serendipitously. I was looking for some new work. He needed help. And here we are. So I've been with Diplomat for almost a year now. And it's been nothing but wonderful.
And what were you doing before that part?
I have worked in cannabis for the past 6 years, but I am an agriculturalist and a molecular biologist by training. I've been doing agriculture for 15 years. So cannabis was a very natural transition for that. There was kind of nothing else that anybody wanted to talk about, really, about 5 years ago.
So kind of ag-driven. 2 universities?
Yes.
For you? Where?
University of Alberta and University of Guelph.
So how much has that industry changed in the last little while?
It's been wild. It's just crazy. I started, when I was in undergrad, I took a year off and I did an internship, and I started in a program where there was a hemp program.
Right.
And then I left that, and it took me a whole decade to get back, and I went right back to hemp and cannabis. So it's this huge full circle for me with a lot of agricultural crops. And I've done a lot of product development. So I worked in the dairy industry for a while as well. So not just agriculture from the plant side, but also from the animal husbandry side.
So how do you get involved with an organization like this? Because Go West 23 has been fun. It's been fun. The energy is really noticeable to me. But I'm just amazed at the diverse group of people that are here and from a planning perspective. But what's your connection?
Well, we're really glad to be here because we're talking today about how to host cannabis style events. So that's why we're here from an event perspective. These are really popular now. Cannabis is legal in Canada. We've had it for more than 4 years. But how do you compliantly and properly host something where there's cannabis? And there's not a lot of information on that. So we're happy to talk about that today.
So you're speaking... I'm guessing that you've got a lot of people coming up and saying, I'm fascinated by this. Like, how can we do this? So what's the breakdown on your presentation today?
Well, we're going to be talking about regulations, of course, because everything is dictated by that.
Right.
But we're going to break down what's happening in all the Western provinces right now and where everything stands. So if you're in a different province, what it is that you need to do and what you need to be careful of. Across all of those locations so that you can do something that is as appropriate as possible right now.
Is there a cautious nature? People are fascinated and interested, but yet they're not really sure. I'm guessing you hear that all the time, right?
Yeah, there's lots of hesitancy,
right.
But the industry here is also, we're very strong advocates of going very slowly and knowing your consumption level. We want people to have a good experience. We don't want people to have a bad first experience. That's when people don't come back, right? Cannabis is a wonderful thing that can help you from a therapeutic perspective as well.
Right.
And there's lots of parties that are happening around that. It's not just about, the 70s vibe of getting high and chilling out in these very lovely chairs.
First thing you said when you sat down, I've had to sit here all day and talk to people. It's been great. I've enjoyed it.
They're very comfy.
Is stigma still a big thing for some people, though?
It
you think?
is. It is. And Abacus Data is a company here in Canada, and they do a lot of survey work.
Right.
And the last time I saw a survey from David, I believe it was like 47% of people in Canada now either agree with it or have no opinion on the legalization of cannabis. So that's almost 50% of Canadians, and it's 18 and over. So we're trending towards a normalization of it, but there is still a stigma around it, especially with older generations, and that impression of everybody is a stoner who just wants to chill out on their couch, and they don't do anything all day, and that's
Right.
not the way it is. There's lots of professionals who utilize cannabis on a daily basis. The biggest group is between the age of 35 to 54. Half of them are married,
Yep.
half of them are women, half of them have children.
Getting past the stereotypes is hard for a lot of people, but it's there. There's no denying that. Now, you're talking about events and involving cannabis. Are there organizations that are already ahead of the game, and are you expecting that out of speaking today that you're going to find that there's a different level of awareness?
I think that there definitely are right now cannabis companies
Right.
that are running events.
Yep.
And then there's also standard event companies that are trying to incorporate it. I think that across the board, I'd say on average, there's a low to medium amount of information available. Some are more aware than others, especially if you're very tuned into the industry. But I know we're here to speak today to general industry because I don't think that there's a lot of information available and that everybody knows about it. So you're going ahead and having all of these events thinking that it's legal because cannabis is legal.
Yes.
But we don't have any supporting framework for pretty much anything we're doing, like we do with alcohol events, right?
Right.
You get a license, there's ProServe, there's training, and that doesn't exist on the counterpart for cannabis yet.
How are you finding so far here at this event when you're reaching out and talking to people? Are you finding they're very inquisitive?
Yeah. Everyone's always saying, "Oh, that's very interesting," and they lean in. They want
Like,
you to say something.
yeah.
Yeah. There is this hush that goes over there just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there still is. When people hear that word, they're like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Right? And people want to know. I just got here a little while ago, so I haven't had much conversation yet, but I'm hoping to move through the room and see what people's general thoughts are on it.
Wow. So where do you see things going over, let's say, the next 6 months to the next year? You see the growth?
We do. We see
Yeah.
huge potential here, and we're working with specific jurisdictions and municipalities in Canada to change the rules as well. Edmonton, of course, being one of them. So it's great that the conference is here today and tomorrow. The government is going through a Cannabis Act review right now. So they're looking at changing legislation. That's going to happen over the next 12 to 18 months. And in fact, Nathan, who our co-founder,
Right.
is actually in Toronto today speaking with Health Canada specifically on this topic. So unfortunately, he couldn't be here today. But there's going to be change, especially because groups like us, and there's lots of other teams as well, that are working on advocacy for this. How can we do this legally? We're asking to be enveloped in the legal framework, to have zoning, to have licensing, and to have the appropriate training and education. We would like to do that because these events are happening anyways. So let's make them legal and let's make them safe.
When you look at your career over, let's say, the last 5 to 7 years, and now you see where you're at, I'm always amazed, and we've talked to a lot of people here at this event already who said, I didn't see myself going down this road, or I didn't see myself taking on this project or anything. Do you find yourself amazed at where you've gone from here to here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm an agriculturalist by training.
Yes, right?
I haven't set foot in a field in 2 years.
It's a big adjustment. Right?
It is. I don't get to work with crops and handle them on a daily basis anymore, which I used to. So it has probably been 2 years. I went to visit a farm last month because a friend asked me to go. But everything that I do almost has completely changed. It revolves around a commodity crop,
Right.
But it's all the ancillary stuff instead of the primary business of cultivating now. So my role has completely changed in 5 years.
So how much fun is this for you today? Because this is not really what you do. This is kind of you're informing people, but this is a group that's wide open, new ideas, and they're excited about it.
Oh, yeah. And it's great. I've been working in regulatory spaces for 5 years now. So I've become a little bit of an expert in what they mean when they write something down.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to understand. And that's one of the things that we do at Diplomat. We break down those rules so that they're easy to understand for people. And we help you get to a place of compliance and maintain that.
Before we let you go, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you're going to be bringing up in that boardroom there? Is there anything that would surprise? Or no?
No, I don't think they would be surprises. I think we've all seen or been to some type of cannabis event already.
Yep.
Or know somebody who has. But I guess I'll be shining a little bit of light into the dark corners of, what maybe isn't so great and things that you need to be cautious of.
Well, listen, we shouldn't say too much more because, no, I'm just kidding. I find that very funny that people get into that little hush tone thing. But you probably, not the first time you've heard that, right?
No, and I say it very loudly. I don't hush anything.
Good. Hey, thanks for your time. How do people get a hold of you, by the way, if they have any other questions, that kind of thing?
Well, I think in the app, my information might be there. But if anybody wants to come chat with me, they can go to our website. They can find me on there and they can connect with me. Or if you're here at the conference right now, I've got a stack of business cards that I'm wanting to give away.
What's the website, by the way?
diplomatconsulting.com.
Got it. Hey, thanks for your time today. This is great. And good luck with the presentation today.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a pleasure being here.